It's pretty early in the morning and about to depart on our trek in the Kanchenjunga region to a place called Lumba Sumba Pass. It's a pretty isolated, out of the way place.
Right now it's early in the morning in Kanchenjunga. It's about 5:30 AM and today is kind of the first day of our trek. Yesterday we spent the day getting here. We travelled first from Kathmandu to Bradapur, some nice views of the mountains along the way, and then there we picked up a jeep and travelled for 8 hours north through the hills to get here. It was a beautiful drive actually, winding up and down the hills, and got in fairly late, about 8 PM, and today we're going to get in another jeep and do some walking up to a place called Fidi, where we will then go to Pratipatna, which is a very sacred Hindu temple up on the hill, and apparently there's beautiful views around the mountains.
I'm just outside the village of Pidi, where we're staying for the night before we get up before dawn to walk up to the temple on the top of the hill called Pratibara, which apparently affords fantastic views out over the Himalaya, Kanchenjunga, and is a very sacred temple to Hindus, and there's lots of pilgrims heading up there as well as us. But while exploring the area, I just happened to stumble upon this pretty awesome little Hindu temple, or series of shrines I suppose, in the mist and in the mossy rocks. And just at Pratibara temple at the top of the hill. It's a giant hill, a big climb. We climbed up here to see the sun rise over the mountains, but as you can see it's very misty, but it's a cool spot, and yeah, there's lots of things going on. Good morning, it's the morning of day 3 of this trek. Not sure exactly where I am, but I'm in a place, I think it's called Linga, just before Chirua. Yesterday we had the most incredibly tiring day, walked for 12 hours, got up at 4:30 AM to walk up about 600 meters to the temple of So just at the village of Lilip, walked here from Tapalthok. It was a pretty short day today, just a couple of hours alongside the river and then up to Lilip. Lilip's a lovely little town. It's just got a little sort of square. It's probably the nicest lodge that we've stayed in so far. Families just sort of working on various things in that square, and then as you can see behind me it's sort of a nice open hilly area, and this is where the trail splits off. In one direction it goes up to Kanchenjunga base camp, and on the other, which is the way we're going, it heads up to Ulangchangola and Lumba Sumba eventually. Stayed last night in a guest house with a family, and they were in full swing with the cardamom harvest. In the evening we all had dinner in the dining hall. The power came on, they watched a little bit of TV, and it was a very nice vibe, nice family. So yeah, and then in the morning we've got our first sight of a big mountain, Janu, and so now we're heading up the trail towards Ulangchangola. We're not going to get there today, but we've left the main route, getting quite off the beaten track now. So I'm just in the village of Ilidanda in a very typical tea house, staying here. Hard mattress, nice pictures on the wall, otherwise pretty comfortable, and just spending the afternoon drinking tea. This is our campsite, about 5 hours north of Ilidanda. landslides are very common things on this trail, and probably the most hairy parts to walk through, so you have to take it very carefully because it's a long way down if you put a foot wrong. Just at the Gompa above the village of Longchengola. It's 465 years old, and the little Lama showed us around. We saw some nice old manuscripts and statues, and it's very old and dusky and interesting in there. You can't take photos, so I can't show you what it looks like, but it was an interesting exploration. It's great to be at the village of Longchengola. We walked for nearly a week to get here. It's a really beautiful Sherpa village. So I'm just on a four-wheel drive track north of Longchengola. It's a very recent track that's been built, not down to Nepal but up to the border with Tibet and China, and you have to be a very, very good driver and be in a very good four-wheel drive vehicle to navigate this particular road, and I haven't seen any vehicles anywhere, and in fact parts of it look pretty much undrivable and more like they're being used for firewood storage by the locals. This morning we had a little bit of a discussion after the very cold night last night. We discovered that Rakesh and Sandesh only had one very thin sleeping bag between them, and we were of the understanding that they were bringing two. And we were a little bit concerned as we were going up to Pass Camp today and then over the Lumba Sumba into the camp on the other side, both camps being over 4,500 meters above sea level, that they weren't quite well equipped enough. So we had a bit of a discussion as to whether we should continue on or not, and after some talk we decided that we would go on up, but any small hint of a blizzard or poor weather we would abandon ship and quickly come down, because if it gets too much colder it would be quite tricky and dangerous. As you can see, the altitude is already struggling to talk and walk at the same time. I guess we're at about 4,300 meters above sea level. It's not too bad and it's quite nice, but yeah, walking and talking are not the easiest things to do at the same time. oxygen, but generally feeling good and particularly pleased that it's so clear and nice and that we'll be able to see the mountains. So just making our final climb to the Lumba Sumba Pass at 5,200 meters. Feeling pretty tired now. There's a bit more of a hill to go. So one final push and we'll be up at the summit. But yeah, as you can see, it's a bit of a climb.
This one mountain is Mount Kanchenjunga, 8,585 meters high, world third highest mountain in the world. And this one is Mount Makalu, 8,500 meters, is fourth highest mountain in the world.
Thank you. Beautiful day today as it was yesterday, and yesterday was amazing up on the Lumba Sumba Pass. You know, in one direction you can see Kanchenjunga and in the other Makalu, and now we're heading towards the small and isolated village of Tong, which should be quite interesting as well. So I'm just at the very nice village of Tong. Feels like civilization after 5 days of camping up in the mountains. People here are really friendly, and it's kind of warm. There's flowers around the houses. The houses are nice. I think they've got good food here. Looking forward to a good dal bat. So just in the village of Hacha, which is kind of in the bend in the Arun River. Now we're about to head south towards the road head. It's a very nice village, kind of compact and probably one of the larger ones we've been in. Yesterday was quite a long day coming down from Lingam to Hacha. I guess along the edge of the ridge, nothing too steep, but some fairly long drop-offs, and just getting into the warmer climate now. There's cardamom plantations and various things like that.